Long before the rise of the Elder Gods, before the cycles of creation and destruction, there was a scar on the universe. A being, an entity as old as time itself. Its name is whispered in dread among the darkest places in the cosmos. Xau-Tak. It is said that the Great Revision, the destruction of the universe's previous cycle, was not the work of the Elder Gods alone. Somewhere in the shadows of that cataclysm, Xau-Tak's influence bled into existence. It was during this time that the egg of Ma was scarred, corrupted by a force of icy blue crystal, black stone, the mark of Xau-Tak. This corruption left Ma malformed, and only 4 Elder Gods were born to shape the new cycle. But Xau-Tak's reach did not stop there. Its tendrils stretched across worlds, through time, and manipulating reality itself, waiting for a moment to return. Among the creatures of Gilano, there was one whose transformation signaled the growing influence of shadow anima. Rature. Once a normal dinosaur living on Gilano long before the Stone of Jazz was ever discovered. At some point in his existence, Rature stumbled upon the Codex, an ancient elder artifact. But the power that flawed the Codex did not come from the Elder Gods. Instead, it came from somewhere else, somewhere far darker. This immense amount of shadow anima transformed Rature, turning him into something far more dangerous, a shadow colossus. Xaros himself recognized the significance of this transformation, noting that Rature was not just a colossus, but a shadow colossus. Rature's power, drawn from shadow anima, grew too dangerous to leave unchecked, and so the beast was imprisoned. But even in his imprisonment, the source of his power was evident, a force that did not belong to the Elder Gods, but something beyond. Xaros, confident in the World Guardian's abilities, took a vat of shadow anima that was keeping Rature in check, leaving the Guardian to confront the beast. As Xaros left, his words echoed the gravity of what Rature had become, a creature infused with shadow anima, a force that even the Elder Gods themselves found toxic in high concentrations. Shadow anima, the force that flows through Erebus, it's dangerous even to the gods. It is said that prolonged exposure to shadow anima can overwhelm and destroy even the Elder Gods. This is the same force that transformed Rature, the same power that Xau-Tak wields as its instrument. Kranon was no ordinary dragonkin. Once a priest and poet, Kranon believed in the potential of salvation through faith. He was deeply inspired by an ancient story passed down by his grandmother, a tale of a black pebble that symbolized freedom. A simple stone that granted release from suffering to whoever accepted it. Though the story was dismissed by others as a mere fable, Kranon became convinced it held a hidden truth. This belief, however, put him at odds with the rest of his kin. As others sought answers through science and experiments, Kranon's path grew darker and much more radical. He blamed Kerapak for the Dragonkin's fall into despair, writing bitterly of how Kerapak's arrogance led to their undoing. "Curse you, Kerapak. Your selfish desire to dominate has led to our undoing." Kranon's pain and frustration spilled into his writings as he lamented their fate. Enslaved tools of the Elder Gods, cursed to forever guard the Stone of Jazz. Through these words, Kranon's delusionment is clear. He rejected the idea that the Elder Gods could ever be approached with reason or entreaty. To him, they were unfeeling masters, and the Dragonkin were nothing more than expendable tools. His writings reveal a growing conviction that only the forces of shadow, older, perhaps even greater than the Elder Gods themselves, could free his kin from their torment. Kranon's journey led him to Ulfund-Kriath, an ancient temple whose name means sunken black in the Dragonkin tongue. It was here, beneath the waves of the cursed archipelago, that Kranon prepared a ritual, a harmony of notes pieced together from ancient text. He believed that this ritual, a beautiful song, could call forth the power of the Black Stone and grant him freedom. His writings describe this moment with awe, marveling at the beauty of the song and how it would bring them salvation. But the ritual did not lead to the freedom that Kranon expected. Instead, it was Xau-Tak who answered. Xau-Tak's influence reached out from the shadows, warping Kranon's body and severing his connection to the Stone of Jazz. He wrote that he no longer needed his heart or lungs. He removed them with purpose, for he had taken a portion of Xau-Tak's power into his very soul. Kranon, the Dragon Priest, was no more. He had become the ambassador, the herald of Xau-Tak. Kranon's writing in this period reveals a chilling acceptance of his transformation. What began as a quest for freedom had led him to become an instrument of Xau-Tak. His soul now belonged to the shadow, and with it came a new purpose: to spread Xau-Tak's influence across the world. But Xau-Tak is not the only whispering voice in the shadows. In the Second Age, the Inquisitor Aurelius and the Tribune Colton uncovered a secret hidden within the Shadow Realm, deep within the catacombs of Sentistan. There, they encountered something beyond their understanding, a being known as Voss. Aurelius described Voss as a voice emanating from a swirling hole in the universe. He called its words starlight, a promise of everything he desired, but at a cost: to touch the monolith and widen the opening. Aurelius resisted the temptation, but Colton was not as strong. His mind was destroyed by the shadow energy of Voss, leaving him broken. Voss's voice, like Xau-Tak, was described as a beautiful song, asking for so little in return. Aurelius likened it to Kranon's description of the ritual that would summon Xau-Tak to Gilano. The seductive nature of Voss's demands, though seemingly harmless, concealed a far darker intent. The whispers of Voss were linked to Erebus, the same place from which Xau-Tak draws its power. In the ritual of possession spoken by the Necrolord Eudora, the names Voss and Xau-Tak are mentioned together, hinting at a shared connection to necromancy. Both beings seem to draw their power from the dark realm of Erebus, a place where shadow and necromancy intertwine. The creation of necromantic elements such as the pocket dimension, containing the necromancy rune altars, was drawn from the same energy as Voss and Xau-Tak. They are intertwined in ways that few can comprehend. As the ambassador, Kranon dedicated his existence to spreading the influence of Xau-Tak. He gathered allies from across the realms, manipulating those who sought power. Among his recruits were Taraket, a necromancer, a fellow dragonkin, and even Rabid Jack, the most feared pirate of the Eastern Sea. Together, they prepared to summon Xau-Tak fully into this world. Ulfund-Kriath, now part of the Shadow Reef, became the center of the ambassador's dark operations. Here, beneath the cursed archipelago, the ritual would be perfected. The goal, you ask? To bring Xau-Tak's mercy to the world by erasing the light and embracing the infinite mercy of the dark. But Xau-Tak's influence did not stop at a mere manipulation of mortals and beings of power. In the most devastating of events, the Shadow Leviathan, summoned through the breach of Erebus, dragged the Elder God Jazz herself into the Dark Realm. Jazz, the strongest of the Elder Gods, met her demise there, a feat so unthinkable that it shook the very foundations of existence. An Elder God defeated by a force from Erebus, this single event left Gilano and its people trembling. If a being as powerful as Jazz could fall, what hope remained for the others? It signaled the rising dominance of Xau-Tak and the forces of Shadow, whose influence has begun to stretch across all realms. Jazz was thought invincible, but Xau-Tak's power has shown otherwise. This was only the beginning. The Ambassador's plans did not go unnoticed. The World Guardian, warned of the impending threat, gathered their own allies and prepared to stop him. The final battle was set within the depths of Ulfan Kriath, where the air cackled with dark energy and the ocean seemed to rise in defiance of the light. The Ambassador, empowered by Xau-Tak, unleashed mists of corruption, shadow energy, showing all signs of Xau-Tak's power. But the World Guardian, aided by the ancient dragon Seryu, fought back with determination. As the battle raged on, the Guardian's allies fell, one by one, but the Ambassador's forces crumbled in the face of their combined might. Finally, the World Guardian confronted the Ambassador in the heart of the temple. With each strike, the ritual was weakened, and in a climactic moment, the Guardian vanquished the Ambassador. Yet, even in the Ambassador's defeat, his final words rang out like a curse upon the world. My death means nothing. Xau-Tak is coming. His arrival is inevitable. Xau-Tak's mercy is endless. His hand is already upon this world, and soon the light will fall. And there you have it, everyone. Thank you so much for watching this one. Today we tried something a little bit different, a more theatrical take on the lore, focusing less on timelines and more on the atmosphere of a mystery surrounding an entity like Xau-Tak. If you liked this style of storytelling, let me know by hitting that like button. If you want to see more deep dives into RuneScape's darkest corners, don't forget to subscribe and share this video with anybody you think will like it. Your feedback really helps shape future content, so drop a comment below and let me know what you think. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in Gilano.